feel it every day, don't you? The ache, the emptiness, the questions that haunt your mind. They're gone and you're left here, grappling with a pain so deep it's almost indescribable. The person you loved, they lost their battle. And now you're left to pick up the pieces. But here's the truth, this isn't just grief. It's a pain unlike any other. When someone you love is taken from you by their own inner battles, it creates a unique wound. You're not just mourning their absence. You're left grappling with questions that gnaw at your soul. Why didn't I see the signs? What could I have done differently? Could I have saved them? The weight of it all feels crushing, doesn't it? It wraps around your chest, squeezing until you feel like you can't breathe. You play their last moments over and over in your head, trying to make sense of it. But there's no sense to be made. No answer that will satisfy the ache in your heart. Maybe you've lost someone suddenly, tragically. And now every waking moment is a fight to survive the day. You see them everywhere. In the small things, in the quiet moments, and the places you used to go together. And it feels unbearable. Maybe they had been struggling for a long time, and you could see the pain in their eyes. You tried everything, didn't you? You did what you could to lift them, to be there for them, to make sure they knew they were loved. And yet their battle was too great, and now you're left with an emptiness that words can't fill. Or perhaps it came out of nowhere. One day everything seemed fine, and the next, they were gone. It's a different kind of shock, like a punch to the gut that leaves you gasping for air. You never thought this would happen. You never imagined they were fighting this silent war inside. But you know what's worse, the guilt. It seeps into your bones, whispering to you in the darkest hours. It tells you that you should have known. Somehow you should have been able to stop it. That you failed them. But hear me now, their battle was not yours to fight. Their inner struggle was their own. No amount of love or effort could have changed the outcome. You did what you could. You were there, you loved them. And that is more than enough. It's hard to accept, isn't it? Because deep down you want to believe you could have saved them. That somehow you could have been the one to pull them back from the edge. But you must understand this, their choice to leave was not a reflection of your love or your worth. It was the result of a battle they were fighting long before you even knew. And the guilt, it's a lie. It tries to convince you that you weren't enough, that if you'd just been better, stronger, more attentive, they'd still be here. But that's not true. Their battle was one of the hardest anyone could face. And it wasn't yours to win. I know what you're thinking, but how do I move on? How do I even begin to heal after this? The truth is, it will take time, a lot of time. There will be moments when the grief feels too heavy to bear. When it feels like you're drowning in it. But even in those moments, you must remember this: you are still here. You are still standing. And that is your strength. Your heart may be broken, but it is not beyond repair. Yes, it will take time. And yes, it will hurt, but you will heal. Slowly, piece by piece, day by day, you will start to rebuild. You will learn to carry their memory with you, not as a burden, but as a reminder of the love you shared. But first, you must release the guilt. You must let go of the notion that you could have saved them. You couldn't. Their battle was one that even they struggled to understand. You did what you could, and that's enough. And if you're feeling lost, if the pain feels too great, I want you to know this: you are not alone. Not in this, not ever. There is a power greater than us all. A presence that holds you even when you feel most alone. God is with you, walking with you through the darkest valleys. You may not see it, you may not feel it, but He is there, offering you strength when you have none left. Lean into that. Trust in His plan even when it makes no sense. Trust that there's a reason even when you can't see it. And trust that your loved one is no longer suffering. They are at peace now. And while that doesn't take away your pain, it can offer you a sliver of comfort. They are free from their inner battles now. And they rest in peace. So what now? How do you keep moving forward when it feels like the world has collapsed around you? Just allow yourself to grieve. Let the tears come. Let the sadness wash over you. It's okay to feel lost. It's okay to feel angry. Grief is not a straight line. It's messy. It's painful. And it will come in waves. Some days will feel unbearable, and others will feel like you can breathe again. Embrace each day as it comes. Second, don't be afraid to lean on others. Isolation can be a dangerous thing when you're grieving. You might feel like no one understands your pain, but there are people who care about you. People who want to help you through this. Let them in. Let them carry some of the weight with you. When you feel like you can't go on, when the darkness feels too heavy to bear, remember that there is always light. Even in the darkest places, reach out. Speak to someone. Don't carry this alone. I want to speak to those of you who've lost someone to their inner struggles, those who feel like you're drowning in the what-ifs. I know the thoughts that creep in. I know the questions you can't stop asking yourself. What if I'd seen the sign sooner? If I'd said something different? What if I had been more present? These thoughts will consume you if you let them. But here's the truth: no amount of what-ifs can change what happened. No amount of questioning can bring them back. You did the best you could with the information you had. You were there for them, and that is enough. It's time to release those questions. Time to let go of the guilt. Because if they were here now, they'd want you to move forward. They'd want you to find peace. They wouldn't want their battle to become yours. So what now? How do you take the next step? You start small. You start by waking up each day and deciding to keep going. Start by giving yourself permission to grieve, but also permission to heal. And each time you feel the weight of their absence, remind yourself that healing doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean you love them any less. It means you are honoring their memory by choosing to live. You'll face moments where the pain feels fresh again, where the memories flood back in. In those moments, you must ground yourself. And for some of you, it's not just the pain, it's the anger. The anger at the world, at life, maybe even at them for leaving you behind. You might feel like this was unfair, that they left you to pick up the pieces while they escaped their pain. It's okay to feel this way. It's okay to be angry. Anger is a part of grief, but you must not let it consume you. Anger can be a destructive force if left unchecked. Feel it, acknowledge it, but then let it go. Don't let the anger become another chain that holds you back from healing. It's not a betrayal to let go of your anger. It's an act of strength. And when the anger subsides, that's when you must ground yourself once more. Breathe. Remind yourself that you are still here, still capable of finding joy, of finding hope. Create a phrase for yourself, one that you can return to when the emotions hit hard. Say it out loud. Let it be your anchor in the storm. Something like, I love them deeply, and now I will honor them by living fully. Or their battle is over, and I am still standing. And as you navigate through this journey, you may find yourself feeling isolated. As common in grief, you may feel like you're alone in your pain, like no one truly understands. But I want you to remember something. You are never truly alone. God walks with you through every step of this. He is there, even when you can't see it, guiding you, holding you, offering you peace. In those quiet moments when the grief feels overwhelming, turn to Him. Let Him carry the weight you can no longer bear. And if you know someone else who is walking this same road of grief, share this message with them. Let them know they aren't alone in their suffering. Together, we can walk through the darkest valleys and find our way to the light. Together, we can heal. But even as you heal, there's something else that lingers. The fear of trusting life again. You might be thinking, how can I trust anything when life can take away what matters most in an instant? This fear is real and it's valid. Loss shakes your faith in the world and everything. But know this trust isn't about certainty. It's about faith. It's about believing that even though life is unpredictable, there is still good to be found, still love to be given and received. Take it one day at a time. Trust that as you move forward, life will meet you with new opportunities, new relationships, new strength. You will not be shattered by this. You will rebuild, and you will trust again. Now I want you to take a deep breath. Let it fill your lungs, let it calm your mind. And know this, your loved one is no longer in pain. Their battle is over. And though their absence will always be felt, you will carry them with you in your heart forever. Their journey has ended. But yours, it's just beginning. And yet, despite knowing this, there's another feeling that rises within you, the feeling of being left behind. It's as if the world kept moving without you and you're standing still, watching everyone else live their lives while yours has come to a halt. The plans you made together, the future you envisioned is all gone. You feel as if the rest of the world has moved on, while you're stuck in a place where time doesn't exist. It's okay to feel this way. It's okay to feel like you've been left behind. But understand this, you are not. You are still here, and though the road feels long, step by step you will begin to move again. You'll find a new rhythm, a new purpose, and eventually a new peace. You will move forward in your own time. And even in the moments when the grief feels too heavy to bear, remember that you are not alone in this journey. I will be here, walking with you, guiding you through the darkness. When life feels overwhelming, when the burden feels too much to carry, I'll be here just like today to remind you of your strength, to remind you that you can rise again. So rise, step forward and live. And when the next battle comes, when life throws its weight against you again, you will know where to find me. We'll walk through the storm together. And I will always be here just as I am now. You're not alone, never have been. Never will be.